Have you ever wondered who built the world we live in? Not just with bricks and mortar, but with sheer audacious imagination? Today, we're diving into the life of a man who did just that. A man whose name is synonymous with the Industrial Revolution. A titan of engineering who dreamed on a scale that dwarfed his rivals. This is the story of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the insane genius who built modern Britain. Picture Victorian England, a world of steam, smoke, and relentless progress. In the heart of this revolution stood a figure of boundless energy and ambition. Brunel wasn't just an engineer. He was an artist, a showman, and a visionary who saw the future and decided to build it himself. From a young age, working under his father on the groundbreaking Thames Tunnel, Brunel learned that engineering wasn't just about solving problems, it was about conquering the impossible, and conquer he did. His first major solo project was the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Just imagine, in the 1830s, proposing a bridge with a span longer than any ever built. Many called it madness. The project faced financial collapse and technical nightmares. Brunel, never one to be deterred, poured his own money and reputation into it, driven by a belief that defied all logic. Although the bridge wasn't completed in his lifetime, his design remains a breathtaking monument to his foresight, soaring high above the Avon Gorge. But Brunel's ambition wasn't confined to bridges. He wanted to shrink the entire country. His masterpiece, the Great Western Railway, was more than just a train line. It was a complete system, a Bruneliverse connecting London to the West. He obsessed over every detail. He insisted on a wider track, the broad gauge, which allowed for faster, smoother, and more stable travel. His trains were revolutionary. His stations were architectural marvels like Paddington, often compared to cathedrals, and his tunnels, like the 2-mile-long Box Tunnel, were feats of Herculean effort. He even allegedly aligned the Box Tunnel so the rising sun would shine directly through it on his birthday. True or not, it speaks volumes about the man's legend. The Great Western Railway wasn't just about getting from A to B, it was about creating an experience. Brunel designed a railway that felt like the future. He fought bitter political and financial battles, the infamous gauge wars, to defend his vision. He argued that his broad gauge was simply superior, and for a time, he was right. The speed and comfort of his railway were unmatched, setting a new standard for what travel could be. But why stop at the coast? Brunel's logic was simple and staggering. He wanted to create a seamless journey from London to New York. Once his railway reached the port of Bristol, his passengers would simply step off the train and onto one of his ships. This led to the creation of a trio of vessels, each one more revolutionary than the last. First came the SS Great Western, a wooden-hulled paddle steamer that proved long-distance steam travel across the Atlantic was not only possible, but profitable. Then came the game-changer, the SS Great Britain. This wasn't just another ship. It was a metal monster, the first ocean-going vessel with an iron hull and a screw-propeller. Think about that leap in technology. While everyone else was still building with wood and paddles, Brunel built a ship that defined the future of maritime travel. It was stronger, larger, and more efficient than anything afloat. Today, you can walk its decks in Bristol, a floating museum and a testament to his genius. But Brunel always had to go bigger. His final, most ambitious, and ultimately tragic project was the SS Great Eastern. This was not a ship. It was a floating city. 5 times larger than any ship ever built. It was designed to carry 4,000 passengers all the way to Australia without refueling. The scale was insane. It had 2 sets of engines, paddle wheels, and a screw propeller. Its launch was a public disaster, taking 3 months and costing a fortune. The project was plagued with problems, accidents, and financial ruin. It became known as the Great Folly. For Brunel, the Great Eastern was the project that broke him. He poured his health and wealth into it, working himself to the point of exhaustion. The constant stress, the public ridicule, and the immense pressure took their toll. Just days before the ship's troubled maiden voyage, Brunel suffered a stroke on its deck. He died 10 days later, at the age of just 53. He never saw his final, gargantuan creation sail. The ship itself had a cursed career, never fulfilling its intended purpose. But it found a second life, laying the first transatlantic telegraph cable, finally connecting the continents, just as Brunel had dreamed of doing. Brunel's life was a whirlwind of triumphant highs and devastating lows. He was a relentless workaholic, a perfectionist who risked life and limb for his projects. He nearly drowned in the Thames Tunnel, was nearly killed in a fire, and once had to have a coin, which he'd accidentally swallowed while performing a magic trick for his children, extracted by a machine of his own design. He lived on the edge, pushing himself and the technology of his age to their absolute limits. So, what is Isambard Kingdom Brunel's legacy? It's everywhere. It's in the smooth curve of a railway line, the grand arch of a bridge, and the very idea that engineering can be a form of art. He was a man who saw no distinction between beauty and function. He didn't just build infrastructure. He sculpted the landscape of a nation and engineered the modern world. His life is a powerful reminder that progress requires not just intellect, but courage, passion, and an ambition that borders on madness. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the life of one of history's greatest builders. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Historical Figures and Moments for more stories about the people who shaped our world. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. See you next time.